Why is it that less than 0.2% of the world's population quietly holds some of the most powerful generational wealth on the planet? We're talking about families who've endured exile, discrimination, and displacement. Yet today, they're overrepresented in finance, education, and global leadership. Is it luck? Privilege? Some secret only they know? No. The truth is far more powerful and much quieter. It's a blueprint. A financial operating system rooted not in greed or gimmicks, but in values, resilience, and a radically different way of thinking about money. You won't learn this in business school. Most people aren't even aware it exists. But in this video, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you 5 pillars of a system practiced quietly for generations, principles that don't just build wealth, they preserve it. If you've ever felt like the game was rigged, like no one ever handed you the rulebook, this is that rulebook. And once you see the system behind the success, you'll understand anyone can start building wealth that lasts. Starting right now. Pillar 1. Money isn't taboo. It's taught. Most people are raised to avoid talking about money. It's awkward. It's stressful. It's something you whisper about if you talk about it at all. Kids are often left in the dark, told, "Don't worry about that," or "That's not your concern." But in Jewish households, the script is completely different. Money isn't taboo, it's taught. From a young age, children are included in financial conversations, not to overwhelm them, but to empower them. They don't just receive allowances, they're taught how to manage them. They ask questions like, how much should I save? How much do we give? What's the difference between spending and investing? And the reason is simple. Jewish families understand that if your child doesn't learn about money from you, they'll learn it from the world through debt, poor choices, and painful mistakes. That's why financial education begins early. Not with the first paycheck, but with the first dollar ever held in a small hand and a question whispered up, "What do I do with this?" That moment, that first lesson, is the spark. And it's why this system builds not just wealth, but wisdom that compounds across generations. Pillar 2. Ownership over labor. If the first pillar is about understanding money, the second is about how you earn it. Most people are taught a simple equation. Work hard, earn a paycheck, repeat. It's the system we're all funneled into: get good grades, land a job, climb the ladder. But in many Jewish families, the lesson goes deeper. Labor is honorable, yes, but it's not the end game. Because wages feed you, ownership frees you. That's why the goal isn't just to get hired, it's to own something, a business, a skill, a stake in an idea that grows while you sleep. From an early age, kids are exposed to stories of entrepreneurship not as fantasy, but as family legacy. They're taught that time is limited, but assets can scale. That trading hours for dollars will always have a ceiling, but building something of your own shatters it. And this ownership doesn't have to start big. It could be a single rental unit, a small e-commerce store, a side hustle passed down from a grandparent. Because when you own something, even something small, you learn to think long term. You learn to solve problems differently. You learn to take pride in creating, not just consuming. And here's the twist most people miss. When a job fails, you're left with nothing. But when a venture fails, you're left with lessons, experience, and the power to pivot. That's the difference. One path teaches dependency, the other teaches resilience. Pillar 3. Community as currency. In most places, money moves in straight lines. You earn, you spend, you move on. But in many Jewish communities, money moves in circles. It flows through relationships, supporting friends, funding local businesses, helping students, startups, and families. A single dollar might bounce from a bakery to a family printer to a synagogue fundraiser, circulating multiple times before it ever leaves the neighborhood. This isn't just generosity, it's strategy. Because every dollar kept within the community doesn't just fund lifestyles, it funds infrastructure. It creates jobs, expands opportunity, and builds economic gravity. That's how wealth becomes rooted not in isolation, but in collective strength. Jewish families understand that money isn't just personal, it's relational. And in that circulation lies resilience. Pillar 4. Generational thinking. Most people think in weeks, some think in years. But families that preserve wealth for generations, they think in decades, even centuries. Instead of asking, can we afford this today? They ask, will this decision help or hurt our family 50 years from now? It changes everything. Homes are chosen for legacy, not just location. Investments are made for longevity, not quick flips. Children are raised with stewardship, not just success. Many Jewish families create family mission statements. They talk about inheritance, not just in dollars, but in values. What kind of name are we building? What kind of impact do we want to leave? What stories do we want our great-grandchildren to tell? That's how money becomes culture, and how wealth becomes more than just assets, it becomes identity. Pillar 5. Stealth wealth and strategic risk. In a world obsessed with showing off luxury cars, watches, vacations, the most powerful families often move in silence. Jewish wealth isn't loud, it's intentional, it's protected. Instead of flaunting success, it's preserved, not to hide it, but to shield it from envy, chaos, and even internal family conflict. Because true wealth doesn't need to scream. It moves with calm, quiet confidence. But make no mistake, discretion doesn't mean fear. It's paired with bold, strategic risk, investments in education, ideas, startups, and people. Not hype, not gambling. But long-game bets based on deep understanding. Because when you invest in things that compound like knowledge, networks, and reputation, you build a wealth that lasts beyond the headlines. And when no one sees you coming, you grow without noise and win without resistance. So now you've seen it, not a get-rich-quick scheme, not a secret club, but a blueprint. A system forged through exile, sharpened by hardship, and passed down like a sacred trust. Let's recap what it really means to build lasting wealth the way Jewish families have for generations. You teach money early without shame. You choose ownership over dependency. You circulate value through your community. You think in decades, not paychecks. And you move quietly while betting boldly on the long game. These 5 pillars don't just create income, they create legacy. They build a future where no one in your bloodline ever starts from zero again. And here's the truth. You don't have to be born into it. You can build it right here, right now. If this shifted how you see money not just as currency, but as culture, hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Which pillar will you start with? And subscribe, because in the next episodes, we'll go deeper into each of these principles with tools, stories, and real-life strategies. The blueprint is in your hands now. What you do with it, that's your legacy in motion.